Hello everybody, I hope everyone's enjoying a good Thursday. I'm back again, this time with another Sky Bet League 2 preview match for the Mariners. And this time around for Grimsby Town, it's going to be Grimsby Town versus Mansfield Town. And yes, believe it or not, it's going to be a 3 o'clock kickoff. A 3 o'clock kickoff. Can you believe it? It didn't happen last year. Last year we kicked off at 1, so we've actually got a 3 o'clock kickoff this time around. Let's get straight into the preview, shall we? Here we go. As we go into, as we always start these previews, we'll start with the first or the last 3 results from both clubs. As you can see, for the visitors Mansfield, they haven't had the best of times in the last few fixtures. They've actually lost 2 of their last 3 and actually lost 4 of their last 6 games altogether. Most recently they've lost 1-0 at home to Plymouth. They've also drew 2-2 with Port Vale, which isn't a bad point, there you go. But then also lost 4-0 away at Cambridge, home to Cambridge. So they've actually only scored 2 goals in the last 3 games. They're not in the best of form. I think that could work in our favour, but it could also work against us. We just don't know. The last 3 games for the Mariners, obviously everyone knows about the Salford result, the 1-0 away at Salford. Enough said about that, really. Mansfield Town, we did win 1-0. And we've had back-to-back league wins, with that massive win away at the league leaders Exeter by 3-1 last weekend. What we've shown this year in regards to us, we've shown that we can put a number of sides in, and we just have belief these days that we're going to get results. We just believe that we're going to get results, and we'll just have to see how we do and keep going on the way we're going. One thing I said earlier on in my earlier previews was this side has goals in it, and one thing that everyone can say is that we've got goals in it, and we've also got fight in there, which is something probably we've lacked in the last several seasons. We haven't actually had that fight. So now we've got it. We've pulled results back like at Oldham and like at home against Colchester when we're 2-0 down in both of those fixtures. And just vaguely say about Mansfield, just the fact that I can't believe the start of the season Mansfield have had. I mean, later on in this video, I'm going to tell you about some of their danger men that we've got to look out for Mansfield. But I tipped them to finish top of the league, to be honest with you. So it really is a bit of a surprise. But I wonder if it's a hangover or whether, to be honest with you, when they sacked their manager at the end of last season, I couldn't understand that one myself. Yes, he just narrowly missed out on penalties in the semis to Newport, but I didn't understand the sacking. So, don't know, are they getting what they deserve for probably overreacting to losing on penalties? Who knows? Now we shall move on to the last 5 meetings between the Mariners and the Stags. And I'm going to take you all the way back to February of 2017. We've had quite a few tussles with Mansfield in fairly recent times. On this day, we got a 3-0 victory at home to Mansfield. And then we played them again at the start of the 17-18 season at Field Mill. And, well, we got beaten by 4-1. It wasn't really the best of days for the Mariners. Then we played them on Boxing Day of 2017 and at home, and we got a 1-1 draw. It was 1-1. It was going to be 1 Mansfield 1. In November of 2018, we went back to Field Mill We lost by 2-1. Things were starting to slowly turn around for the Mariners then. You could start to see a real Michael Jolly side forming then. And on New Year's Day, on the first day of 2019, 10 months ago, we played at home to Mansfield and lost by 1-0. Obviously Mansfield were, I believe they were the top 2 at the time. Obviously we were languishing around about mid-table, and obviously the whole team has kind of changed around a bit for both teams, and obviously they went on to miss out, as I've already pointed out, on penalties to Newport County in the playoff semis, and we've just improved tenfold, especially to 2 years ago when Michael Jolly took over the club. I also want to point out players to watch for tomorrow. This is why it's such a surprise that Mansfield are sort of down there, because Mansfield have a good squad. They have a real good squad with some real good attacking players and real dangerous. They play some real good football as well, to be fair. I'm quite surprised to see them, as I said, down where they are. I'll just list you off just a few of the names that Mansfield Town still have in their club. Danny Rose, one of the league top scorers. Former Mariner Andy Cook, who turned us down to go to Mansfield. CJ Hamilton. Conrad Logan, the former Leicester goalkeeper. Maynard is there as well, and as is Jacob Mellis. Nicky Maynard. These are proven League 2 quality players. They are not poor players at all, and I think Andy's sort of like been a bit underwhelming at the minute at Mansfield. Andy Cook. I think once he can find his feet, he'll be dangerous. You don't become a poor striker overnight. You're not knocking goals in League 1 for a poor side at the time, and then all of a sudden become a poor striker. Nicky Maynard has played for clubs like Crewe and places like that. So, a very, very good striker at this level. CJ Hamilton had a blinding season last season. I think they're going to be... And Jacob Mellis is always a threat from midfield. So, it's just those names that I put down there. They are danger players. So, even though Mansfield are struggling, you cannot take a side with that quality, you cannot take that team lightly. And hopefully the Mariners don't do that. Because if they do, even though at home we could easily get found out. If we go on to our place to watch, well, I could nearly have put all 22 players down, to be totally honest. But the ones I put down, people say, well, these are the obvious ones. But yeah, obviously, the first name on the team sheet will be, of course, the captain, Mr. James McEwen. What can be said about Macca that hasn't been said? He is becoming, if not is, a club legend at the club. Such a loyal guy, such a nice guy as well, and his performances have just got better year in, year out. Obviously, he had that little bit of a spell out when Dean Henderson came in on loan a couple of seasons ago, but he's rebounded from that and become more of a legend than what he was before that. And it's great to see that the Macca is in there. And doing what he's doing and being captain, fantastic. Also, we can give another player to watch is Mr. Jordan Cook. Now, I was very critical of Jordan at the back end of last year. I said he needed to... His work rate was never in question. but I question his goal scoring record and his goal scoring ratio. He has upped that a little bit this season. Mainly when he started, he scored, and obviously he had that free kick wiped off at Salford. Otherwise, he'd have been on 4 for the season. Jordan is really finding his feet this year. He's been able to stay relatively fit throughout the year, throughout the season so far. We're only 2 months in, but he's looking a real threat when he plays, and it's good to see Jordan not only showing his work rate, but bearing the fruits of his work rate as well. So it's good for Jordan. We move on to the third player that is to watch for the game as well, and that's Sunderland loanee Ethan Robson. What can we say about this guy? People are starting to wonder. We're getting Sunderland fans going on social media going, he should be with us. He shouldn't be out on loan. He should be with us. I just wonder whether that's because of how good we've been. How good he's been, but how good we've been as a club as well. Hopefully we're there helping Ethan sort of develop as a player, and you can see the skill that lad's got. I mean, that first goal that he scored at Exeter, it was a good short corner. They don't normally work. You could tell it was worked on the training ground, and picked it up from the volley. What a shot, right into the corner. I kept looking at the Exeter goalkeeper's position. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just an absolute perler, right in the far corner. Fantastic finish from Ethan, and he's becoming a little bit of a cult favourite at Grimsby Town for his goals and his effort. Really, I mean, this is the second player we've had from Sunderland. Obviously, the first one being last season, of course, which was Elliot Embleton. I don't know what it is with people called Elliot, but for some reason, keep them coming. But we've obviously got a good working relationship with Sunderland at the minute. And I think Jack Ross is trusting Michael Jolly that if you send a young player to Michael Jolly and Grimsby, that he will go back a better player, as I hope we've done that with Elliot Embleton as well. So you've got to look out for Ethan. Another name is obviously Jake Hessenthaler, as I call him, the silent assassin into the regards of he's not the biggest goal threat, but he's a good breakup of play. He's just there. He's Mr. Solid. He's a guy that never gives you any. You don't have any doubts with Hess. Hess'll do what Hessenthaler does, and that's be solid in the middle, play the right pass more often than not. He does make the occasional mistake, but he's Mr. Dependable. You know what you're going to get from Hess. Hard-working, solid midfielder that will put some good passes through for the strikers to get onto or over for players to run onto. Hess is just, as I said, he's Mr. Dependable. So Mansfield have got to watch out for him as well. It's just a long list. Moses Ogbu. Now everyone is sort of like hit and miss with Moses. I think that's what he is. Moses is hit and miss. He can have one or two good games, and then have one or two where he goes missing a little bit. But Moses is you can tell that he's a talented footballer. I wonder with him whether it's just him getting used to this football, because when he was asked about the technicality of between Sweden and here, or this level anyway, he said Sweden was probably technically better than England in League Two. I would probably agree that it is. And I think he's used to balls to sort of run onto, sort of thing. But one thing I like about Moses is he's unselfish. I mean, that layoff for Ethan Robson's second at Exeter was just a peach. Absolute peach. It was right into Ethan's stride, and what a finish that was as well by Ethan. So, Moses, and obviously Moses scored a penalty as well. He's a very good penalty taker. I saw him take his first penalty at Scarborough during pre-season, and you just feel with Moses that he's not, again, it's one of them. He's like a Mitch Rose in the regards of penalties. If he gets one, you don't think he's going to miss it. So he's a guy that if he's on it, he will give the Mansfield back line some real problems. And then we move on, of course, to the main two. First of all, I'm going to talk about the man that is Mr. James Hansen, Jimmy Hansen. The guy hasn't scored in the last couple of games, and I did see that I had a gentleman on Humberside Sport the other day talk about that he hasn't scored for a few 2 or 3 games. In fact, since he won the Player of the Year, since he since he won the Player of the Month award for August, he hasn't scored since. But I think you know what kind of threat James is going to give you. He's going to give you that real big aerial threat that a lot of defenders are not going to want to go up against. Not just his height, but his strength as well. And that's also something Ogbu does, but I think with Ogbu it's just a different kind of strength. But James is, he may not have scored for a few games, but there's no doubt you can see what kind of a threat that James Hansen is. And he will start scoring again, I'm almost certain. Hopefully it'll be this weekend. And the last guy I want to touch on for us, as for the players to watch, is Matt Green. Matt Green has only scored 3 goals for Grimsby so far this season. But my God, have they been important ones. When he scored, they meant something. And I say important ones, I mean the Chelsea one was just absolute class. And a lot of people would say it was a cracking goal that he scored. Again, it was just a long ball up. Hansen got a little flick on, and Green ran onto it and absolutely gave Caballero no chance of saving it. But Matt Green has scored 2 other goals in the league. He didn't play last weekend in Exeter, but he scored 2 other league goals. His best one so far for me was the goal against Colchester, where he brought it down again off a James Hansen flick and brought it down onto his chest, onto his boot, and bang, right in the corner. No chance for Colchester's goalkeeper to get anywhere near it. And also we have to mention as well, he's a former Mansfield town striker. And he had a very, very prolific time at Mansfield. So it's, I don't know whether it'll be old club syndrome, because obviously you've got two old players, one for us and one for them. But Matty Green, again, he may not always have the best games all the time, but I think what we've got this year is players that can dig each other out. If someone's not having a good game, like if James Hansen's not having a good game, Matt Green could pull him out the fire, Moses could pull him out the fire, and all these others, and Jordan Cook could pull him out the fire. You look at our striking options; it's so much better than the last 2 years, really, where we haven't really had striking options. We've had that one main striker, but that's really all Grimsby have had. So, to me, it's looking at those lists the players to watch that I've chosen, they're all dangerous and good players. This could be a real good game on Saturday. What I'm also going to mention is the referee is Mr. Paul Marsden. We've had him 3 times previously. He's in his, I believe, it's his 3rd season as an EFL referee, and he last took charge of us and sent Harry Davis off, I believe, last time he officiated us. So, I'm going to mention referees just briefly in a minute. One thing I'd like to mention is obviously the league positions. Town are currently in 7th in the league, and Mansfield are currently down, unbelievably, 19th in the division. It's still very early, but we've actually picked up, I heard a stat earlier, 10 points more than we did by this time last season. We are 10 points better off. So you can tell there is definitely an improvement there. The only one thing I want to add to this before I finish is I was listening to the friends at the D3D4 football podcast. They put out a video on YouTube in regards to football refereeing. And I didn't know this, but apparently the referees in League 1 and League 2, everyone, we know, all fans sort of slate the referees. If our club gets a decision wrong or anything like that, everyone's going, oh no, it shouldn't be happening. I've always been a defender of referees, and I'm even going to be more of a defender of referees. Apparently, all referees in League 1 and League 2, they're not professional. No referee in League 1 or League 2 is a professional referee, which I think is ridiculous. That would make sense as to why sometimes the standard of refereeing isn't up to the level of like the Premier League or the Championship. But literally, referees in League 1 and League 2, they're not professional refs. They don't make a living from refereeing. They're actually working a 4 or 5 day week and coming to referee league games. One thing I'd like to say on this is I think the FA, that's appalling. You're getting referees that are not fully trained, that are not professional refs, that are basically amateur referees in the professional leagues. I couldn't believe what I was actually hearing on that. Why is it that League 1 and League 2 players, League 1 and League 2 referees, are not professional? Why is that? I don't understand that. So, yeah, everyone's going to have a, if Mr. Marsden gets a decision wrong, but listen to me. This gives me more sympathy for the referee. This referee is not going to be a professional referee. He's going to be a amateur referee, a part-time referee. And I don't say don't be critical, but let's just look at that. He probably has a full-time job Monday to Friday, and he takes an occasional match on a Saturday. He's not making his living from this. That's not justifying them, but it's sort of like saying, the Football Association, the Referees Association, pull your finger out. you've got to make sure that all the referees, if you are refereeing in a professional league, all referees should be professional. And that's my thought on that. Anyway, that is me done for this League 2, Sky Bet League 2 fixture on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Don't forget, so don't be turning up at 1 o'clock, don't be turning up at 12 o'clock thinking turnstiles will be open within an hour. It's actually, it won't be. It'll actually be 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, Grimsby Town versus Mansfield Town at Blundell Park. Am I going to give a score prediction? Yes, I am. Here it is. It's Grimsby Town 3, Mansfield Town 0. So, Grimsby Town 3, Mansfield Town 2. I'm actually going to go as that. I'm going to say 3-2 because of the attacking quality that Mansfield have got, and also the attacking quality that we've got. Put it this way, I just want Grimsby to win this one. If we can win this one, I know they're on a they're on a bit of a low ebb, Mansfield, but it will still prove a point because I am sure at some point during this season, Mansfield are going to click. And if Mansfield start to click, the league's in trouble. With the quality that they've got, they'll be in trouble. So, yeah, Grimsby Town 3, Mansfield Town 2. I do hope you've enjoyed this preview. If you have, like and subscribe to my channel. It will really help me out. Thank you, guys. And I will see you again on Monday, in fact, for a preview of the leasing.com trophy against Sunderland, which is on Tuesday night. But I'll be back for that. Love it, having a bit of a stuffy nose. It's fantastic. But I will see you guys then for another preview. Take care, guys. See you soon. If you're going to Blundell Park on Saturday, make as much noise as you can. Really get behind the boys, because this is going to be a tougher game than anybody expects, I would think, because of league position. Don't let league position fool you. Believe me, don't let league position fool you. I will see you Monday. Ta-da, see you later on. Bye, guys. Cheers. Bye.